Hey, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co., and this is an unboxing and rambling of the bad karmas and the curse of the Zodiac. Fun fact, this box over here is not in shrink. My assumption is because they don't make boxes, they don't make shrinking machines that shrink boxes this ridiculously large. I'm assuming that because, fun fact, when I covered Agamonia, when I unboxed that, I commented on the lack of shrink, and someone from the company reached out and said, yeah, they don't make machines that shrink boxes that large. And so, this is larger than that box, so I'm assuming it's not in shrink because of that. In any case, this is going to be an unboxing and rambling. As usual, if you are new here, that basically means I'm going to talk about the bad karmas and the curse of the Zodiac, but I'll also talk about anything and everything that crosses my mind. If you are just here for information on the bad karmas and the curse of the Zodiac, there'll be other content later on the channel. There's a review from a while ago, there's gameplays, there's other stuff you can see on the channel, but this video can go anywhere it happens to go. So you've been warned. Also, welcome aboard. Thanks for joining us, and let's go ahead and dive into it. Oh wait, before I take my coffee away, we have our coffee shot and our knife. We are ready to go. I don't know if I'll need this, but with Agamonia, I actually did need it. Despite the box not needing shrink, it was Dead Keep. The Dead Keep didn't have a shrink box, but I had to de-shrink the boards. There's a whole bunch of unboxings on the channel. I use the knife whenever it's relevant. Also, coffee. Anyways, let's go ahead and dive into this. Now, normally I would slide the box underneath the camera and then pick off the lid. Maybe I can try to do that. Let's see. First of all, the coffee's gonna go shooting all over the place. It's gonna go splattering because of how big this box is. But this is like me trying to pull the lid off the box is not the easiest, just given how large this box is and how close it is to everything. Also, we just got another box under the box. So this for context, this is the level of visibility you and I have between each other right now, because this box is absolutely huge. Let's go ahead and move this off. You know what? No. You know what? Let's see if we can take this off. Let's go ahead and take this off. Pull it off more. What do we got? We got a box within a box, because probably that's going to be the Teburu system, which is a box within a box, I assume. There we go. We can pull it off. There we go. See? This is what we got. This is what we got. And we got underneath here the bad karmas and the curse of the Zodiac. So we are making progress on this labyrinth of, well, things. But let's try to put some things back in play. Move this off to the side. And let's deal with the Teburu system first and then the bad karmas. Because I will talk about the bad karmas. I'm not going to not talk about the bad karmas. But I don't make any guarantees where things go. This is the bad karmas and the curse of the Zodiac. This is the first game utilizing the Teburu system, which is interesting because the Teburu system was originally advertised using a zombicide game, which we've never seen come to light. I don't think we ever will, and I'm sad about that. They also talked about doing sword and sorcery. I hope they do, because I think it's a good match. They talked about doing Vampire the Masquerade Chronicles, which that one they do have. They have, maybe not Chronicles, Vampire the Masquerade, Milan Uprising. But the Teburu system is a system that utilizes a electronic board that detects where you put things on that board. So going back to this box over here, if we open this up, you're going to see our actual Teburu system within that box. Because when you buy this game, you're buying both a console, that's this board over here, this board is effectively a console, but you're also buying a game as well. You're buying both of those things. So what you're doing is the first time you buy one of these games, you have to buy the console, because without the console, how are you going to play the game? Where am I going to put the box? It's another question we have to deal with over here. But in any case, if you don't buy the console, you know what? Let's put this down here on the floor, and that can go next to me over here. We're figuring stuff out. It's a lot of box space to navigate around. But anyways, you have to have the console in order to play the game, because, well, that's how consoles tend to work. Now, this console, in effect, basically, you'll see over here, there's some electronic gizmos on this line over here. This is where you'll plug things in. You'll be able to go ahead and roll dice and whatnot, and you'll put the board down, and the board will detect. Let's pull out a drop over here. So you're going to have the board over here on the table. You'll put the actual board you're playing with on this board, and it'll detect where things are at any given point. So it knows where a miniature is, it knows where the board is, it knows where your dice roll or what happens as you go. It's basically a combination of electronics combined with the tabletop system of, well, whatever system you have. Now, I don't know why we have boards in here. This is the part that's already interesting, because I'm intrigued, because now I'm realizing, I thought, this has bad karma stuff. Okay, so I don't know how things are going to be packaged in general, but this Teburu system fits in this box, which makes sense to an extent, except, again, remember, it's a console. I mean, you're not going to play, every time you play a God of War or a Spider-Man, you're not going to pull out the console and not going to package it together. You're not going to have a console with every game. So I kind of did expect them to be separate, but the boards in here are actually from the bad karmas and the curse of the Zodiac. This is from that system. So let's go ahead and put out a board so you can see what's going on over here. But again, realizing that I'm not sure exactly how this is going to manifest in terms of, well, general situation of the board or whatnot. Because here you go. Here's a board. You're going to have these gods or whatnot, these giant well, Zodiacs, I guess, jumping around this board over here. Your heroes are going to be on these individual nodes as you go ahead and fight the baddies, but that's basically the board is going to detect where things are, tell you how to move stuff around, and each boss has its own different aspect to it. I'm still trying to figure out the table space situation over here. Let me show you the cover box and then put this off to the side because honestly we don't need it again. So there you go. There's the cover, and we're going to drop this right now. I didn't mean to drop it, I meant to catch it, but we won't talk about that. Past that, we have our board over here, which, like I said, there's not enough space. Let's move this over here, drop like that, and then we can go ahead and show you the other side of the board, because there's going to be a few boards, and we'll just let you see them all, because we got a celestial system over here, which is a very different system. I mean, again, mechanically enough, like, the board has the same general aspect, but if these lines have a gameplay purpose, because I haven't played as this one, I've played as against two of the Celestials in the game, because when I played the prototype way back when, they only had two Celestials. I played against both of those. That's all I've seen from the game system. We have this mat over here, which I don't know what the purpose of this mat is at all. Like, this is, what is this? Is this meant to be, I don't understand why we have this. I don't understand. Is this for like developing purposes? Like I know they have like SDK kits or whatnot so people can make their own games with the Teburu system, but maybe you have to make your own levels within the Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac. I don't really know. What I do know is we have more boards for you, because we're going to go ahead and show you this next map. This is going to be another map. We have a little section of the board that's a little off limits, so to speak, so that's going to be something different about this board. I don't know what else there may or may not be. Because again, past the visual aesthetic, because there is a visual aesthetic aspect, of course, but past the visual aesthetic, what's the purpose of having another board? And something like that gives you a purpose, although I'd like to see more in theory. Like those Zodiac lines, those were cool. Like over here we have another section. Now we have two nodes off. But if they're giving you a new entire board every single time you cover up two nodes, I feel that could have been achieved with a different, better system. Don't get me wrong, I appreciate having the cool different artwork, but there's also economies, cost of scale. Boards actually cost more than you typically think. They are one of the more expensive parts of game development, of game manufacturing and whatnot. More so than like miniatures. Like a nice metal miniature is one thing, but boards are often more than that. Over here we have another board. Now this one again does have some aspect, there's some lines going on. Maybe that groups things up into separate sections. You have your helipad over here, which again, don't know what it manifests as. Again, I've only played as two Zodiacs and only on one board. And the board I played on, well I think it was one of the ones we already saw. And this over here has a central rift or whatnot. But yeah, this is what we got for our board situation in the Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac. We also have some, again, I don't know how this is packaged. I think I'm going through the core box set. This must be the core box, which again has the Teburu system in the core box, which I still haven't figured out exactly how that goes, because you can't store the console with the game. The console should be stored separately from the game, because once you have multiple games, you want to be able to access the console without having to go into the game box every time. But we'll see. Past that, we have some of our cutouts over here, so you can have various terrain elements on the board. There's going to be various things. Like I remember one of the scenarios I played as, I think I played with these portals over here, and I think I've played with these pylons that are getting knocked down by one of the bosses. So different terrain elements you'll encounter as you're playing through the game experience. We got some punch boards for that. And then we have our miniatures in the core box. Now we have expansion boxes to go through as well, which we will get to, but that's going to be in the giant box. In the main core box, let's start with what we have for, well, all the components in the core box, because may as well show you what's here and then go through the expansion stuff separately. So up here, we got this, I'm trying to think the best way to take this all out without like ruining things. So if we put this over here, this is the bottom over there, and this is that. Okay, so I kind of got everything. Let's show you some stuff. So here's some more elements of the technology side of things. We have 3 dice. I believe you generally only need 2, but I think having 3 probably gives you that flexibility to be able to deal with one broken. But you're going to be rolling these dice. Now these dice, they charge on this stand over here. So you can take these guys over here. Does it fit 3 even? No, it doesn't fit 3. You can charge a miniature over here, and you can charge dice in here. And these dice are going to, when you roll them, the app is going to register the rolls. It'll be like, oh, look at that. You rolled a 6, you rolled a 2. It knows what you rolled. Meanwhile, you have this space over here, which is going to be where the miniatures lock on. The big bad bosses you're fighting against will be on this table over here. And then lastly, we have a cable. Because we have a USB-C cable over here that's going to just give you the cable needs that you need to charge your board. I don't know if the board holds a charge. I don't know that. The dice hold a charge. They are rechargeable. This base holds a charge. There's a little charging port right over here. But the board itself, I don't know if it holds a charge or if it's only ever, plugged in. I don't know that. Although, of course, you could buy packs that, even if the board doesn't hold a charge, you should be able to buy something that will power the board. I don't imagine the board needs that much of a charge that you could get one of those, cell phone battery packs and power the board. Don't quote me on that. I'll try it and let you know if it works. Although, do I have a cell phone battery pack on me? I don't. I was just traveling, so I had one. I had one in my pocket the past few days, but I don't have it now. We're going to put that back shortly over here. Let's go ahead and see what we have as far as these small guys, and we'll keep this box out over here so we can deal with the big guy later. But these are the various miniatures you'll be dealing with in the game over here. Interesting how they store this over here. Interesting. So let's go ahead and show you some stuff over here. We got our various miniatures, our base game miniatures. These all are going to fit on. So again, if you take one of these over here, you put it over here, it will charge its base in that little charging port region over there. It's also going to be how you kind of like align the board. You'll be like, choose a miniature, you'll put it here, the board will connect, and they'll say, oh, okay, put it down over there, and you'll put it down that node. And then now the board knows where your miniature is, and you can track it as you move. The board is going to track where your miniature has moved to. Now, I played this during the prototype phase. It was a good but not perfect system at the time, meaning sometimes it would track your movement, but other times you'd move it like 2 spots and it would mess up how it tracked. It was mostly very good, but not perfect. Also, it's been a while, so we have time to see whether this was improved upon, although not in this video. I'm not messing around with the technology stuff in this video. So, we got over here, we got that board in the background is going to mess with things. We have 2 of our base game characters over here. Just very simple, you know, just archer and dagger person, which I've played as both of those, I believe. Then we have these 2. Yeah, I played as all the 4 base ones over here. These next 2 I've also played as, that we're going to show you in a second. Miniatures are pretty decent as far as the sculpting. A little bit of bending on some of the plastic, a little bit of deformations, but overall pretty good. So we got these ones over here. These are 2 more of the guys. And again, these are the ones I played as in the original. When I played through the game during the prototype phase, this is what I've played through with the game. Got a little shotgun situation, which I like. I like the shotgun behind the giant shield. That mix of kind of shield plus gun. I appreciate that. We have these guys over here. I don't know or remember what they do. I don't know if I've interacted with them at all. They're various kind of extra characters that are in the game system. So we'll take a look and see what we got. Here we go. There we go as far as these guys. So this guy's got like a little visor on, a little bit of futuristic prophet situation. And this is the penguin. The penguin showing up on your table. And then we have 2 more before we dive into the boxes of alternate characters. Because you have all these alternate characters, although the bases share a color, meaning there's a bunch of green ones, a bunch of blue ones, a bunch of orange ones, and a bunch of pink ones. And I wonder if you have to have one from each class. I don't know exactly how that... Again, I only ever had 4 characters when I played through the game, so all these other questions aren't things I ever have to deal with when I play through the prototype. In general, playing through prototypes always has that kind of question mark of what I got to experience versus what the thing is down the road. Those are different experiences, and sometimes I actually dive into them as soon as I possibly can and play them. Other times, months go by and I don't, and it's not because of a lack of desire. It's because of the nature of having so many things to cover. Although I do like the sniper person. I kind of want to play... This is the thing. So the way the bad karmas works as a general game, you have your small characters, you have these big, Zodiacs or whatnot, or maybe they're called karmas. I honestly don't know what they are called as far as they are, but these various big bosses. This is a boss hunting game, but a boss hunting game that is managed to some extent through the app. You're going to have your deck of cards that you can iterate and build upon as you go through what I believe there's a degree of progression, meaning I don't know if it's single shot or campaign, but I believe you unlock cards for your characters as you go. So there's some degree of unlocks. I do like this guy with the staff. Between the sniper and the staff guy with his like giant bubble, whatever that is, I'm liking these miniatures so far. So they're getting good vibes from these characters. Although again, I don't even know how you go with choosing your characters and whatnot. I don't know if the expansions are going to have characters or only... I don't know. I don't remember the breakdowns, but a lot of things on the campaign page for this. But anyways, you're going to be choosing your cards or your attacks in the app. You're going to be choosing your stances in the app, and your stance will matter as far as the big boss that you're fighting off against. Now, you have to figure out what the big boss is doing or how it operates, because once you figure out how it operates or what it does, because you're playing through the game, and the bosses act in certain ways, and over time you establish their patterns. And the quicker you establish your patterns, the more likely you are to be able to adapt to their patterns. Maybe you know that when you hit that guy from the rear, he's more likely to spin around and charge at you. But you don't get told that. You just have to watch what the boss is doing as you play through it and realize that, oh, every few turns he respawns at a new pylon and hits you from behind. So if you prep for that, if you know that he's respawning, I like this guy over here, by the way, but if you know that he's respawning or whatnot, then you have this advantage of being able to adapt to it. Now, sometimes that means you have to lose the game before you can win it. Other times it means you figure it out within the game, and you can pivot and adjust your strategy to be able to take down the big bad. That's the basic idea of the game. I mean, everything else is just, it's an app-assisted game. It'll be easy to dive into. If you don't like app-assisted games, this is not for you. I'm someone personally that finds I'm middling on app-assisted games. I find that to some extent they do take me out of the experience in a way that I don't appreciate. I like the sword and bow combination. But yeah, to some extent I find app-assisted games do take me out of the experience in a way that I don't love as much. But I do find that I still can enjoy them. They're just starting from a... Like, if the base point to like a game is 0, an app-assisted game is starting at like a -10. It doesn't mean I can't enjoy it. It just means it's fighting a bit more of an uphill battle to become enjoyable. But I will say that when I played through the Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac, I wasn't confident. I'm still not confident as far as where it ends up for me. I do know that I enjoy trying to figure out how the boss acts and reacts as you play through the boss over there. So that part was a fun little experience. This was on top of this, I believe. Yeah, I think so. And then we have to keep that up because we're still showing you the bosses, and I want to keep that base out. But yeah, I very much enjoyed. Enjoyed playing through the bosses I got. I enjoyed the different feelings of the bosses. That's a big part, by the way, because between you and me, if as you play through these bosses they don't feel different, then there's not much point for them to exist. It has to feel like a different experience because that's the whole challenge, the whole fun of it. And this is the first boss I played as when I played through the base game. So I'm going to show you the first boss. That's going to be this guy. This terror of a beast. That's what we had over here. And then they fit into these bases over here. So I don't know, is there a clip over here? Yeah, you're going to put it in like this. And then, let's see. Okay. You want the larger base on that side. It's interesting. So it's that way. And then you lock, and now it's locked in. Okay. Ooh, whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. Nope, that's not, whoa, okay, okay. Things are breaking. Not breaking. Things are working, honestly, let's be honest. Things are working over here. But you got your base that's going to light up with different ways when it deals with the boss. Now I have to rotate it off over here and pull it off. And now we have to charge this because that's what this is. But yeah, this will tell you like the orientation of the boss and the directional aspects of it. And different sides will light up. Sometimes you'll have sides that are damaged or sides that will be more dangerous with things like that. So this is the first boss I fought off against. And the second boss I fought against, and everything else you're going to see here is new, was this guy. This celestial being. I remember fighting against this guy, and it was a very different puzzle. In fact, during the campaign, they kind of gave me this one mid-campaign. They're like, oh, we finished the development in this one. Do you want to try it out? And I was like, sure, I enjoy the game. Let's go ahead and get a feel for it, which I then proceeded to do. And then we have 3 more bosses over here, which I'll do from order from least to most favorite. We got this guy, which just kind of looks like a general alien. An alien with, like, some blobs and whatnot. I don't mind him, but it's a... I don't know if he's really settled exactly how threatening he does or doesn't want to be. I can't tell if it's a bunch of tentacles with a helmet or, like, an alien ship with, like, a bunch... I mean, I'm okay with it, but my least favorite so far, I do like this celestial guy I showed you a second ago. I do like, this one's fun, but, you know, again, not necessarily my favorite, but I do enjoy the overall aesthetic of it. Miniature sculpting is very solid, by the way. Overall, the detail is very solid. Larger miniatures are, of course, easier, but even the smaller miniatures, a few bends aside, definitely seem to be pretty decent looking. And then I really like this guy, who kind of looks like Mysterio, but different, and I like that. I like Mysterio, but different. That's this guy over here, and we have this, if we can show you that. Look at him. He's just like coming up. He's got these snake heads over here, that little Mysterio helmet, a little scepter, something sharp over here that's going to stab you. Like, you know he's trouble. I'm excited to play against this guy. Honestly, I'm excited to dive into it in general and see where this game is and ended up. Like, what it's like. What it's like, ultimately, because I played through it. I played through what I had from the original game. We're going to put this back now. We're not done, by the way. We're just doing the base game stuff right now. We still have more stuff to go through. I'm not going to punch things right now because I generally don't punch in unboxings. Not extensively. There was that one time that I think, was it... There was a game that, if I recall correctly, I unboxed the whole thing. I punched the whole thing and did the whole thing post-unboxing. So I kind of did the unboxing, and then just the end of it was... There's Terraforming Mars where I unbagged everything. There was that experience. But there was, oh my gosh, it was the one that Steamforged Games took over. Steamforged Games took it over, but it was, oh my gosh, what was it called? I'm blanking on it. It's often compared to Mage Knight. Why can't I remember what it's called? Like so many of you in the comments right now commenting. It's often compared to Mage Knight. It's a big box sprawling adventure game. Euthia, Torment of Resurrection. That's the one. Some days I'm like disappointed with myself what I don't remember. Other days I'm impressed with how much I do actually remember. There's a lot of games out there. There's a lot of games. By the way, I realized that despite my promising you unboxing and rambling, this has mostly just been, you know, it's mostly just been, what's it called? Talking about this game, which is disappointing, let's be honest. But we're not done yet. We still have time to change that mind or figure things out. This needs to go in here. It looks like they wanted this, where do they want this? They want this over here. There's a little thingy. I mean, I don't know if it's necessary, but it certainly gives some degree of structural integrity, so sure. These, I don't love how these are in the box. I should punch these at some point, but for right now, they're over here, and it is what it is. I don't love it. I don't love it. Can I put them in this way? I guess I could there, but then this won't work that way? I don't know. I don't love how that is, let's be honest. Okay, I'm going to put this in like this, and it is what it is. And we'll just have to punch it later, because right now I don't want to deal with that. That is the Bad Karmas, the Curse of the Zodiac, powered by Teburu from Explored, the base game. But we're not done yet because we have more than the base game over here. We have a few things in this giant all-in box. So let's see what else we have, because Well, we still have all of this to get through. So, oh my gosh. I don't want to break this box, but I don't know how to get this out without breaking the box. I'm sorry in advance. Now, for whatever it's worth, I was applying pressure on the sides here to make it not, you know, just have it pop out. But this is what we have for the 2 other boxes. So I was fairly confident. I wasn't just going to dump the boxes out. So the question is, do we do this box or that box first? And I know they're upside down. Do we do volume 2 or volume 3? That answers the question. We'll do volume 2 before volume 3. Now, each of the boxes comes with some... Oh, let me show you in the back over here. On the back of this over here, they have a little thing of the various Zodiacs. So if we show you over here, you can see that. That's going to be your listing of the Zodiacs. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12 Zodiacs, which has me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 12 Zodiacs. Which means if we showed 5 in the base box, that means between the other 2 boxes, we have 7. That's an interesting number. I would have thought you'd do like 6 in the base box and then 3 in each of the expansion boxes. Because otherwise the math doesn't work out exactly the way you'd think. We have 4, 4. We do have 4 in each of these boxes. So what's the extra Zodiac? Huh. I'm not sure what's going on. I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure it's all explained. There's no rule book for the game. There's not even a rule book. Did I miss that? Huh. Now, for whatever it's worth, this might be a pre-production copy. That's possible. But I don't think I saw a rule book. We'll power through that. Don't get me wrong, there's an app. The app will guide you, but there's somewhere to say, like, download the app or something like that. Anyways, let's go ahead and see what's in this box. So, we got this over here. We got another 2 terrain boards for our 4 Zodiacs. So each Zodiac has its own board, which is nice, honestly. I appreciate that. I just wish the boards felt a little different or looked a little different. Again, if they look exactly the same, then the only thing you're changing is the aesthetic. So over here, for example, is another board that, to me, without knowing more about what's going on here, looks exactly the same. So, again, I appreciate the aesthetic, I do, but I wish there'd be some changes, because why not take advantage of having a different board to be able to make different changes? Like, even having some different spots, like missing spots like this, as much as I wish there was more, at least it's something. But, like, I feel there could have been so much room to explore and take advantage of the fact that once you're going to make different boards, make them all have a mechanical difference, not a visual difference. That is my own personal preference, but you know what? We'll see what we get over here. And then we have this over here. That's why we like the board that has the line. The line's the one that's the most fascinating to me. And this one we have another board that has 2 spots missing, and that's what we got over here. 2 spots missing over here. And on the other side we have, what do we have? Same exact board, or not same, like same basic standard board. It looks like the same basic standard board. Now what's interesting, okay, so a little differences over here. You're missing some spots over here as far as the exact areas you can go. So the forest is like darker, I guess. So again, some aspects that are minusculely different, but not enough for me to be overly impressed. I feel there's more they could have done to take advantage of the boards. Like once you're making them, like once you have to make different boards anyway, once you choose to make different boards, we have various elements over here from punch boards. We'll go through all that, I'm sure. We'll figure out how this operates by playing through the boss and learning how the boss operates. And then we should have more bosses. So it looks like we have all the base game characters are already present, meaning all the core boxes, all the characters you're playing against. This just adds more bosses you're fighting against. Now, it's possible there was a rulebook in the box underneath all the stuff, but I don't think so. It is possible. I'm not going to go back, not while doing this video. But let's go ahead and show you this in order from least to most favorite. So my least favorite is probably this guy. Fairly standard Egyptian stuff over here. Nothing overly, nothing I overly appreciate. It's not bad. Again, good sculpting, good detail work, all that, but like just the general model, not doing it for me as much in terms of general creativity. Now, the next 3 are all pretty solid. I think that my next least favorite... Oh, they're hard. They're hard. I think I'll go with this one. It's not easy. The next ones are actually all interesting. They're very different. So we have this one over here. This woman with the head of a moon. Whatever that is. Again, like genuinely, whatever that is. I have no clue what that is. But we have that situation going on over here. And then from there, we have this guy over here who is like some sort of, again, I don't know. I have no clue what he is. But just this monster in this like TIE fighter type situation. He's like a TIE fighter boss. That's what this guy is. And then lastly, we have this one over here, which I really like the way the rings, whatnot, the mountain kind of goes around their head. So you have a individual's head encased in rock with like giant spikes around it. So I don't know what happened to them or why they're so upset, but you're gonna have to deal with them either way. That's going to be these over here, which means we're going to go to the next batch, just to go that way. Which means we have just one more box to go through. That's all we got. It's not a very long unboxing, not a ton to go through. I am curious about that rulebook situation. There is the possibility, because even though it wasn't in shrink, I did open the box originally, and there's like a letter from the Bad Karma's team or whatnot saying, hey, thanks for covering the game and all that. So there was that in the box. Now, it's possible that on that letter, they gave like link or references to getting the app and all that stuff that I didn't realize, but that would just make this a pre-production thing as opposed to a final game. So whoever's getting a copy of this, you might already know as soon as you get your Bad Karmas what's in your box and how that plays out. If there's a rule book or not. I'm curious if there's a rule book. But either way, let's go ahead and dive into the next box. The Bad Karmas and the Curse of the Zodiac, Volume 3, with 2 more boards to go ahead and take a look at. Let's go ahead and take a look at those boards. Let's see. Let's hope for some differences. I'm hoping. I'm less optimistic, but I'm hoping. So we got this over here. And again, not sure if I'm seeing any actual practical differences on the board. Looks like you have, okay, fine, you don't have the lines, you don't have the hero spots over here. So again, that's the differences we have. So like maybe the boss will retreat to those areas more. You could have things like that. This one has an interesting spot over here that's empty, but you can still be in. That could be interesting as far as fighting a celestial god who wants to retreat there. But again, still wish there was more present to differentiate these boards. But I don't want to keep, banging that drum. Then we have one more board to go through over here, because we got, one side for each god you're facing off in the game. That's going to be this one. We got this over here. That's going to be our board over here, which this one's interesting. So we have nothing on the outside, no spots. So the heroes are only on the inner spots. That, you see, that's a noticeable enough difference that I do appreciate that. That's not like one area or 2 areas. Although again, they might be taking advantage of those areas in ways I'm not anticipating. Over here we have this and this off limits, some very small spots over here. But this one's also gone. So a little more going on. We have some sort of central base where something's going to be happening there as far as the Zodiac, popping up there or dealing whatever they need to do. So we'll see how that manifests as far as the gameplay. I am excited to dive into this. I think the nice part is because of the nature of the game, it's an easy game to dive into. All you really gotta do is pull out the app, download the situation, and it'll kind of walk you through everything. So there's not a lot of rules overhead in this game. It's really pick a miniature, move it around, grab a card, play it. It is to a certain extent, it's a glorified video game, which a lot of people don't necessarily like. But it gives you that tactile feel. Like, why play Slay the Spire the board game? Because you want to play Slay the Spire the board game. The complicated part is this one still maintains the app. So you have to find someone who's okay with that, which is a different subset of people. Some people are very intrigued by the way to adapt or utilize, board game technology with video game technology, or board games with video game technology. Others are less intrigued by that premise. This needs to come off over here. It's sticking nicely. These, by the way, I will say all of these I like. So let's go ahead and play our game of least to most favorite. They're all pretty good, actually. Oh no, that's pretty good. I don't have a good answer here. I like them all. So I don't have a least to most favorite on this one, but I'm still going to do closest to least to most. So we have this guy first, who is, again, very unique as far as the sculpt goes, carrying some sort of stuff, a little giant head thingy, some pouring rain situation, wherever that material is. But that's our least favorite guy, who's still pretty cool. Moving on from there, we have this guy who's a little... No, I like that guy too much. We're going to go with this one. You see, I don't love his starting body over here. It's a little boring, but I love his back. I'll go and show you that. So we have this one over here. Starting off, I almost grabbed him first, and I saw this tail sticking out of the back, and I looked. It's a party in the back. It's a business in the front, party in the back. Although, I think calling it business in the front is a little bit stretching it. But yeah, I like this guy overall. I don't know if this is bent. I can't tell. You see over here the way these head things are? I can't tell if this is bent or if that's intentional. It looks fine. Looks fine enough. Either way, moving on, we have next coming up, we have this guy over here, because this guy is a giant snake situation. So more of this giant panthery snake, not panthery, but like the skin, I don't know, whatever it is. So lots of slithering stuff. I generally I like snake type sculpts in games in general. So I appreciate that one. And the last one is just weird. And like honestly, I could have put this as my least favorite or my most favorite, but I put most favorite because this thing is straight out of Kingdom Death Monster, and it's a presentation. Like, we got a head that's like a mask on some sort of body of this stuff holding onto like 17 different swords, jumping around. So I don't know how this one plays, but I hope it's fast. I hope whatever this thing is, it's fast and it's striking you a ton, like just consistently doing small amounts of damage to you as it darts around the battlefield. That could be fun. And I have to figure out how he goes back in. There we go. There we go. That's how he goes back in. But yeah, that's what we have for the box over here. That's all we got. We got 4 more karmas, 4 more zodiacs to go through, which we just did. Am I doing this the right way? I can never tell. Or is it this way? Nope, I think it goes this way. I think it goes this way. Let's push this back in and see if we can get it to push in. There we go. Putting this on top. We can put our new boards and our punch boards in. Punch boards, I'll have to figure out the sorting and organizing of how they go. It could be they just go underneath their karmas. I don't even know. But I keep calling them the karmas and zodiac, and I don't know which ones are which. Are we the karmas? Are they the zodiacs? Are they the karmas? Are we the zodiacs? I'm not entirely certain. Anyways, this has been your unboxing of the bad karmas and the curse of the zodiac. We have 13. Again, the 13 thing is interesting. Is there like a final boss, an intro boss? I'm not entirely sure. But we have 13 various thingies to fight against. We have 12 different heroes to utilize, 4 different companions, I think, companion type stuff, and then 12 different boards. 12 different, 12. Interesting. No, there's 10. There's 20 different boards. There's 4, 2, and 3. It's total 7. There's 14 different boards. There's 13 big bosses and 14 boards. I'm curious about that one too. That's interesting. Anyways, until next time, I'm Alex Radcliffe from Board Game Co. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, I hope you have a good one.